Cultural globalization refers to the rapid movement of ideas, attitudes, meanings, values, and cultural products across national borders. These ideas, attitudes, and cultural products have made their way across the world to me, transmitted through the internet and marketed on platforms relative to me. I am a product and an agent of cultural globalization by both learning and playing the sport of basketball. Through beginnings of traditional Australian sports, playing cricket and rugby union, I eventually grew into loving a modern relatable sport, basketball. This sudden influence into the sport stemmed from an original love of wrestling, which I adopted from the WWE. With the sport coming from America, I came to realize the influence that this other nation, this almost parent nation, has had on me and my friends through a cultural hybridity, adopting this culture and sort of making it our own. Parts of the basketball culture has revealed a sneaker and music subculture, particularly donned by the large African American community whom participate in basketball. According to racial equality activist Richard Lapchick, the NBA in 2015 composed of 74.4% of African Americans, and it is through this large influence that sneakers like Jordan, Nike, and Adidas have had a profound impact on not only me, but the world, particularly in the demographic of 16 to 25-year-olds. The top 10 players in the NBA are African American, and of these two great players like LeBron James and Russell Westbrook have boosted their culture through fashion and business, changing how athletes are being perceived. LeBron himself has a lifetime $1 billion deal with Nike, is a founder investor for Blaze Pizza, and has a 2% stake in Liverpool Football Club, which is now worth 5 times his initial investment at $32 million. In contemporary society, NBA players now own large businesses, invest in companies, influence clothing brands, and shows a hybridity created within basketball, mixing the athlete with business. A lot of this can be accredited to the changing culture worldwide, and more openness to explore and learn, as well as an understanding that sporting careers do end. Cultural hybridity, in simple terms, can be said to be a mixture or fusion of cultures. The hybridity that I have experienced and can see in Australia is the way that basketball has morphed into a more popular sport, in which it has fused together the sport with the tough Australian grit. The number of Australians playing in the NBA has grown to 10, in which 4 of them have major roles in their teams. For example, Ben Simmons winning Rookie of the Year and dubbed the next LeBron James, and Matthew Dellavedova winning a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. The expansion of the Australian National Basketball League and attraction of talent has created the first annual NBA x NBL Games, which began last year in 2017. This reflects a true hybridity in which both brands of basketball can show each other what they have to offer and allow for a more blended sporting culture. In 2019, the US national team is returning to Australia for the first time since the 2000 Olympics to face the Australian Boomers in a 2-game friendly. This is a true indicator of how cultural hybridity has elevated the Australian basketball culture to be one of the biggest stages in the world. The way in which basketball has created a sneaker culture is through one of the most important features of the game, sneakers. In this day and age, sneakers have become one of the most influential models in representing a message. With the best players getting their own signature shoes from their contracted brand, they are able to influence and educate their world of fans in a groundbreaking way. NBA players have the freedom of speaking out about social issues, particularly in the African American communities, and during the Black History Month round of the NBA, players like Kyrie Irving and LeBron James both had sneakers to commemorate equality, with the words being the main feature of the sneaker. Many players also write messages on their sneakers before games to show respect to deceased friends, family members, or to commemorate people who have died in national tragedies, such as the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. I, myself, am a product of this culture as I play the sport and I need to wear the suitable shoes. However, outside of the sport, sneaker culture is seen, especially in UTS. When walking throughout university, I see numerous brands that I can relate with, Nike and Adidas especially. It may not be noticeable to everyone, but those two brands have literally taken over the world. Almost everyone I know owns either a pair of Nike or Adidas shoes, and I believe from that it is clear that although it may not be obvious to some, the sneaker culture is worldwide. As a large influence in basketball is seen to be the players, I have adopted not only their sneaker culture and business influences, but also their music. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, African Americans make up most of the NBA. It is through this that my favourite players are mostly African American, and their music is also something I prefer. Predominantly rap and hip hop, similar to the shoes, music artists attempt to portray their feelings in relation to political and social issues. One of the most influential and popular rap artists today, J. Cole, has released songs on numerous occasions focusing on black men in society. One song, called Alright, reflects on the shooting by a police officer of a black teenager. I'm going to shoot, and in the same moment the first shot went off and there was blood coming from him, which is also a very prominent topic in today's society, with numerous law enforcement being responsible for killing of innocent black men and women. J. Cole also raps, "All we want to do is take the chains off," alluding to slavery in America, as well as referring to a contemporary view of still being slaves to law enforcement. This musical influence has informed me of personal experience that I would otherwise not have known about, those which are not in the media and unable to reach larger platforms to create awareness. Damian Lillard, one of the best point guards in the NBA, also raps and creates music. Similar to sport and business, Damian has altered the perception of an athlete to also be something else, a lesson in which I have taken into perspective, basically showing that you can be more than one thing and more than what people think you are. Through business, sneaker, and musical influences, I have found that basketball has transformed me, not only as a product, playing the game, but as an agent learning from those who have played it and transformed it. This game that seems so simple, to put a ball into a hoop, has turned out to completely alter my cultural and worldview, and has shaped me to realize you can be more, you can try more, and you can achieve more.